Hello and welcome back to SF Giants Recap. In today's video, I'm going to be predicting the Giants 2022 starting lineup. So I'll go over from 1 to 9. I'll throw out every position, including DH. I'll not go over starting rotation and bullpen. I'm just going to go over the two separate lineups. One lineup is versus a lefty pitcher. The other lineup is versus a righty pitcher. And so some people will be in both lineups. Some people will be in neither lineup, which is like they'll be a utility player like Jason Vossler or Mauricio Dubon, for example. And so that'll be how this video will work out. And so I hope you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the video. Batting first for the Giants will be Austin Slater, I predict, because Austin Slater, he is a good leadoff hitter. He'll be playing left field, and he hit 12 home runs last year. He batted .241 with a .320 on base percentage. He struggled a couple times, but he saw improvements later in the season and also in spring training. So I think Austin Slater will be your first batter versus a lefty, especially against the lefties. He was super good, and so I think the Giants will bat him first. Batting second, I have Thairo Estrada. I think Thairo Estrada is a great hitter. He'll be playing second base for me right now. He had a .333 on-base percentage with a .273 batting average last season. Hit 7 home runs, super clutch for the Giants. And I think he'll fit perfect at the second base position, batting second. And so that's why I have Thairo Estrada batting second. Batting third, I have Wilmer Flores playing first base. I think he will do better against lefties than Brandon Belt. He batted .262 last season with a .335 on-base percentage, a .447 slugging, and was really good for the Giants later in the game and also later in the season. And he, I think, will be a very valuable player this year, especially if he's batting against lefties. So that's why I have him at the number 3 in the lineup. Batting fourth, I have Brandon Crawford. Even though there's a lefty on the mound, you gotta have Crawford in the lineup. Last year, he batted .298 with a .373 on-base percentage, a .522 slugging. Absolutely crushed the ball around. I think the fourth spot is the perfect place for him, playing obviously shortstop. And I think Brandon Crawford will regress a little, but I'm not going to be a hater. I think he'll do really good, just not MVP level like he did last year, but I can still see Crawford putting up some crooked numbers, and that's why I'm at the 4 spot playing shortstop. Batting fifth in my lineup is Darin Ruf. He'll be the DH. The DH will probably be community DH, but just in this lineup, I have Darin Ruf. I think he is a great defensive player, but I see him more as a DH. His hitting stats were really good last year. 16 home runs, .271 batting average, .385 on-base percentage, .519 slugging. Like those numbers, probably all-star type numbers, and so that's why I'm at the DH spot. I think Darin Ruf's a very valuable player, and he's also super underrated, and so I can see him having yet another powerful year. Batting sixth, I have Joc Pederson. Even though he's a lefty, there's not a lot of righties in the outfield, so I still have Joc Pederson. He'll be batting sixth, and he had a .238 average, hit 18 home runs, .310 on base percentage, .422 slugging. I've been batting sixth. I think he'll perform way better with the Giants in the terms of power. I think McCovey Cove, he'll be hitting a lot there, and that's why I have him at the number 6 spot in the lineup playing right field. Batting seventh, I have Mikey Yastrzemski playing center field, and I think Mike Yastrzemski is a really good hitter. He struggled a little bit in 2021, like compared to 2020, but still put up some good numbers with 25 home runs, a .224 average, and then a .311 on base percentage. I think he will get better this year than he did last year. I think the power is still there. He just needs to work on laying off some pitches and striking out less. But other than that, Mike Yastrzemski is a great hitter. Playing center field, still has a great defense, and so that's why I have him batting seventh. Batting eighth, I have Joey Bart. I think Joey Bart is a great hitter, will perform really well, and the reason I don't have Kirk Sally, it doesn't really matter lefty righty. I'm just putting them in each of the lineups. So Joey Bart is in this lineup, Kirk Sally's in the other, but Joey Bart, he batted 333 in the majors last year in 6 at-bats, and he got 2 hits. He has a 333 on-base percentage in the majors. But in 2020, he did pretty decent. He batted 233. I think he'll perform way better because he got a lot of more reps in the minor leagues in AAA. And so I think he does have potential to be like Rookie of the Year. And even if he doesn't, he's still going to be a decent player. And we need him behind the plate since Buster left. And so I think Joey Bart is a good fill-in, and that's why I am at the number 8 spot catching. Batting ninth, I have Luke Williams. Luke Williams is interchangeable with like Jason Vossler, Evan Longoria, and he'll be playing third base and batting ninth. He can play really anywhere. He can play in the outfield, second base. Those are his main positions. But I'm at third because I think that we need a third baseman, especially if Evan Longoria is hurt. And he batted 245 last year, a 315 on base percentage. The Giants acquired him from the Phillies, and he performed really well during spring training. I think that he will be a very big impact player that Farhan went out and got, like Lamont Wade was last year. Maybe not to that extent, but I think he'll still perform really well. And so that will go on to the righty lineup. Batting first for this lineup is a right-handed pitcher. I have Steven Duggar. He's batting first. I think Steven Duggar has a lot of potential. We saw a little bit of it last year. He started hitting the ball really well, especially the fastball. Struggled on the off-speed, but kind of picked up at the end of the year. He had a 330 on-base percentage, a 437 slugging, and hit 257. And so I think Steven Duggar is a great leadoff, especially since he has a lot of speed and can really steal bags. And so that's why I have him at the leadoff spot. Batting second, playing second base, will be Tommy La Stella. Tommy La Stella, he battled a few injuries during the offseason, but I think he will be back within this first week of the season. Last year, he batted 250 with a 308 on-base percentage. I think there is a lot more in him. I just think we got a little bit of it in 2021. He kind of regressed a little, but I think he'll be back this year, and hopefully he'll perform really well. And we saw a lot of his defense. He played a really good defense, and so that's why I think he'll be batting second at second base. Batting third is Brandon Crawford. I bumped him up because of the person behind him, but obviously Brandon Crawford will be playing shortstop, especially against a righty, and I think he will be really good this year. And I already went over his stats and everything, so that's why I have him batting third. Batting fourth is Brandon Belt. Brandon Belt, he launched 29 home runs last year, batting 274. Unfortunately, he battled a little bit of injuries, but is now back, and I think he'll perform better than ever. And he had a 378 on-base percentage, a 597 slugging. He would have been in like the MVP type talks if he played in more games. But yeah, Brandon Belt playing first base, I think he is a stud, especially against right-handed pitching. So that's why I have him batting fourth. Batting fifth, playing left field, I have Mike Yastrzemski. We already went over his stats and everything. I bumped him up in the lineup because they are facing a righty. I think he can be our first batter, but I think he's better later in the lineup because he has a lot more power instead of contact, and so I think he'll do better and help the team out more later in the lineup. Batting sixth, I have Lamont Wade Jr. as your DH. I think Lamont Wade will be back soon. He had a little bit of an injury. I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks he'll be back on the field. But for right now, I think he will be batting DH, and he batted 253. He had a 326 on base percentage. Obviously, everyone knows how clutch he was last season, so that's why I think Lamont Wade will be batting sixth in the lineup. Batting seventh in the lineup, I have Jock Peterson playing right field. I already went over all of his stats, and I think him, like Yastrzemski, will do better later in the lineup with the amount of power that they have and can provide hopefully this season. So that's why I have them in the seventh spot. Batting eighth will be Evan Longoria. Unless he is hurt, I think it'll be Jason Vossler. Those two guys batting eighth. Evan Longoria did really well last year. He is very injury prone right now later in his career. but I think when he is healthy, he is really good. As the stats show, a 350 on base percentage, a 482 slugging. That doesn't come around often. So I think when he's healthy, he'll be higher in the lineup. But right now, I have to kind of intervene that he's going to be injured, and Jason Vossler or Mauricio Dubon or other guys like that will have to take his spot. And so that's why I have him batting at the 8th. Batting 9th, I have Kirk Sally catching. And Kirk Sally, he struggled hitting, but is an amazing defensive catcher. He framed really well. He called pitches well. He can block, throw people out, do all the above. Hitting-wise, there's a reason he's batting 9th. He batted .210 with a 313 on base percentage. He wasn't terrible, just kind of struggled a lot. And so I think he will get better this year. I mean, it's not really hard to get better, but I think him and Joey Bart will be interchangeable. Will probably catch around the same amount of innings. And so that's why I have Kirk Sally batting 9th. That will do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and so make sure to subscribe and like, and let's look forward to opening day for a new great Giants season. And so I'll see you next time for a new SF Giants recap video.